everyone, it's Miriam with a Y. I'm hoping you're all doing well, staying safe, and trying to keep sane. Now that my health is better, my hope is to keep you a little entertained and creatively inspired. Now is a good time to try art forms you've maybe never attempted or expand on techniques you have played with. On that front, I've been continuing to play with resin and alcohol inks to see what other looks we can get. Now, some of you have watched what I call my cloud and ripple technique for making Petri art without any white dropping where you don't want it to. If you haven't, I'll link a video for you about that up there now and also in the video description box. Maybe check that out first if you haven't, so that this video will make a little more sense. For my new experiments, I wanted to see if we could bling up our pieces a bit. So what I did was add super fine glitter to the white ink and resin mix that I poured over everything. And as is pretty typical, the resin and the ink moved inward toward the middle. You can see that pattern on the top, and you can also see some of the glitter texture too. But when the resin and glitter mix sank through, well, that did not go as I'd hoped. My guess is the glitter made the resin maybe too dense to move freely, and it sank without too much of a pattern. I think it's an interesting look because of the glitter more than anything, but I don't know, not enough interest maybe. It's feeling a little blobby to me. I mean, it was super sparkly though, so it kind of encouraged me to try again with a little less glitter mixed in the hopes of making the mix less dense or heavy, and also pouring less of the resin mix over the top. And this time I also swirled a stick in the middle to see if I could cause a pretty pattern on the other side. I got a very cool spiral galaxy on the top, but the other side was still not 3D. It all sank all the way to the bottom again. Still very sparkly, but not enough pattern. So, for today's piece, I'm going to use Piñata Pearl as my primary sinking ink. We saw in a previous video that it does sink like the white, and it gives everything a nice shimmer. So let's mix it into the resin and see what happens. When I add drops of the pearl ink straight from the bottle, it usually has a fun dispersing effect, like it pushes everything way out before sort of coming back in. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays when added this way. So you saw me pour in some clear resin to our coaster mold. I checked for bubbles, and I popped any with a heat gun. I mixed up 75 milliliters of resin, and I poured roughly 55 or so into the mold, and I kept about 20 for later. And well, it's later now. I'm now taking Piñata Pearl and adding 10 drops to that leftover resin, followed by some white to give this a little bit of opacity, because the pearl really wouldn't give it enough opacity. So far it's shimmery, but not enough. So let's add some more pearl. Another dozen or so drops. Okay, this is perfect. It's shimmery and it's not too opaque, so this should hopefully give us a lighter look. For my colors, I'm sticking to just 3 primaries, all by Kielty Ink. blue, red, and yellow. I find I like Kielty inks a lot in Petries because I don't get the films that form on the top much at all with them. They dissolve into resin very easily. And my resin is the one that I always use, and that's Clearcast 7050. My goal here is to just put down enough color to play with. I'm not after any sort of pattern. I'm not going for anything symmetrical or anything flowery, just lots of color. With all the colors down, I'm now going to pour our pearl, white, and resin mix. And to keep things easy to manage and track, I'm just going to spiral the pour in, and I'm not going to manipulate it. If it works, we'll get creative in later videos if you'd like. With the little extra resin that I still have left, I'm just going to double up on the outside ring. Now this spiral should disperse throughout the coaster and take some color with it as it does. So we'll check on this in an hour and see where we are. Okay, it's an hour later, and we can see that the spiral pattern has definitely infiltrated the resin more. It sank in a little bit and spread out. You can still see a faint trace of the path that I took when I poured it. And I'm thinking that by tomorrow, this may look even more different. So we'll see. I'm going to put this to bed and see what we get. Okay, this one is ready to demold. Let's see what happened. Well, first off, I got this interesting, it's hard to see, I hope you can, but it's kind of like this little flowery kind of pattern that happened, and I didn't manipulate this. I can see the spiral that happened here. That's still apparent, but it kind of did this little wavy, flowery thing along the edge. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see what we got on the other side. I can already tell that it's really transparent in the middle because I can see through into it. So I am definitely interested in that. Okay. That's our side. And yeah, I'm looking at it. You can already see the light through it. Look at that. That is so bizarre. That there's so much light. How weird. That is just the coolest thing. Oh my gosh. I really have never had this reaction. So I am taken aback. It's really extra cool. Like there's a nice white opaque layer around the edge, and then this remarkable, I don't even know how to capture that. I mean, it's clearly three-dimensional. Like you can tell that what looks like cells are all the way at the bottom. Like you can, it looks like you can jump into this. Okay, this in some ways is one of the more remarkable Petries I've ever made. And I love, there's this shimmer here that's from the pearl. Just when I think I've seen everything that can be done, something like this happens, and I am just all startled and amazed all over again. It is so bizarre that there is no trace of the spiral left in this piece. What do you think happened? Tell me in the comments. I honestly am not 100% sure. I love the effect and look forward to seeing what else we could do with it. But I would really love to hear your theories as to what the heck happened in this Petrie. Also, tell me what you'd like to see on this channel as we continue to hunker down at home. What are you playing with these days? What would you like to play with? Are you playing with alcohol ink, with resin, with acrylics, watercolors, mixed media? What are you up to? We are a blessed bunch in that we have creative outlets to help keep us from going too stir crazy or worrying about what is pretty scary and so beyond our control. Tap into that creative nature of yours and make this time as painless as possible for you, your friends, and your families. I wish you all health and safety. Let your creative nature shine. See you soon. Bye now.